Sarah.
It won't be long now. I'm coming home soon, aren't I?
No, wait! A reminder from Benevelza. It was just a mirage. God didn't want me to forget the bait he dangled in front of me when he asked me to be the savior. But the moment I realized that, I became aware of something else too. When I looked into Sarah's face, when I heard her voice and when I saw the promise of her return, I should have felt something, a surge of joy or warmth. But instead, I felt nothing inside. And strangely, I didn't care.
You survived another day. So Vanille seems well. I'm glad. I remember her, you know, from way back when. Vanille and Fang turned into a giant crystal pillar, and together they held up an entire world. We were all supposed to be in it together, but in the end, the entire burden fell on their shoulders. So you see, they have to be helped. We don't have any choice. We owe them.
Snow is the Lord Patron of Yusman. If anyone's supposed to protect the people, it's him. But instead, he's hiding away in that palace, presiding over endless banquets. It doesn't look like he's doing a thing to stop the chaos. Is that right?
Yes, and the situation is growing critical. If the city is lost to the chaos, it'll be the beginning of society's collapse. All of the people left in this world depend on the goods that are made and distributed from here in Yusna.
So this city is humanity's lifeline, and the last remaining bulwark against total anarchy. That's a hell of a responsibility, to be in charge of a place like this. It's not easy to carry the fate of an entire world on your back.
Yes, and don't forget, he's been doing it for hundreds of years now. It's no surprise that he might have grown tired of the burden and chosen to throw it off. I was hoping my instruments were wrong, but I'm definitely detecting a source of chaos inside the palace. It's possible that Snow's to blame for the chaos infusions.
If he's finally given in to the pressures on him and is using the power of the chaos, if his heart is that far gone, it might not matter if I reach him or not. He just won't listen to me.
He might not. I can't guarantee anything. I can't see into the chaos, and that includes human hearts.
I guess that makes two of us. It looks like I'll just have to face him head on if I want to know the truth. Where should I go?
Hello, welcome.
Business is good.
It is, thank you. Word of our shop's special flavor has quickly spread through word of mouth. This city is known for its gourmet restaurants, but none can hold a candle to the chefs we have assembled in our kitchens.
The best chefs in the city, huh? Lackley mentioned his missing fiancé was a great cook. I wonder...
Ma'am, is there something I can help you with?
I hope so. I'm looking for someone by the name of Filiana. According to her fiancé, she was a fantastic cook. Does this ring look familiar to you at all?
Oh, yes, of course. I recognize that. The woman was a wonderful cook indeed. Though the strange thing is, I never knew her by the name of Filiana.
She may have assumed another name. Was the woman you knew beautiful enough to turn the head of every man in the room?
Now, this is taking quite an odd turn. She was no doubt a very handsome woman, but very advanced in age. I suppose she must have been beautiful enough to turn heads once, but she was undeniably an old woman. Of course, we are all old now, that we don't age, but she must have been quite elderly already when time stopped for all of us.
An old woman? I suppose that can't be Lackley's lost fiancée, but where is she now?
I'm afraid I don't know. The lady in question fell ill and left our restaurant. I believe she moved to Luxarian to live with the support of an old friend there.
Do you know how to reach her? Or that friend of hers?
Unfortunately, I don't know that woman's name or anything else about her. I saw her only once. She was a young woman, and if I recall correctly, wearing a rather unusual hat. Perhaps she was her daughter.
I see. Thanks for your time. You've been a great help. Lackley's ring ended up on the finger of a beautiful but old woman somehow. It's possible Filiana sold the ring. I'm not looking forward to telling Lackley about it, but he deserves the truth. He needs to know. Tell me, are you the famous food expert?
Possibly. I do boast a certain renown in culinary circles. It cannot be denied.
Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description to the
I
nearest
see.
security officer.
CD's restaurant, you say? I do hate to see a good restaurant go undiscovered by the dining public.
So, will you help him out? I can take you right there.
Oh no. CD's restaurant? I'm afraid you will have to find someone else. I'm sorry.
I can't persuade you?
Impossible. This city is overflowing with restaurants crying out for the deft helping hand of Gordon Gourmet. I'm run ragged trying to keep up. And, well, you see... Right, my rule. I have an ironclad policy. I cannot help an establishment unless the owner approaches me directly.
You just made that up, didn't you? All right, can you do this for me? Just give me some advice now and I'll pass it along to the owner. You don't have to come to the restaurant at all.
That sounds reasonable. I mean, I'd hate to see a restaurant serving fried niblet hairballs go under. Except, if I give advice, I need to make sure that it is communicated accurately, with total precision. And that means my messenger has to understand the instructions perfectly.
Well, I guess that rules me out. I don't know the first thing about fine dining.
Oh, you don't have to be a top chef, or even a garde-manger. All you need is a discerning palate. Practically anyone can acquire one with a little training.
I'm not sure what you mean by a discerning palate, but I don't think I have one.
Trust me when I say it can be found. In fact, a tour of the best establishments of the Glutton's Quarters should do.
You can't read me. You think you can be forgiven? You think you can be forgiven?
When the sun sets, morning.
What do you think? Step right up, get them! Our meat is shipped directly from the wildlands. We use only natural ingredients, none of that synthetic stuff. Grilling and roasting are the best. The key is knowing how to seal in the juices and flavors. And we do that better than anyone else.
That was useful information, but you still have more to learn. You should visit more restaurants in the Glutton's Quarter.
Every one of our fish is fresh caught and delicious. We get our seafood fresh every morning. Comes straight out of the ocean. Tastes great raw or grilled. A chef is even more important when preparing uncooked dishes. The way you slice a tuna makes all the difference in the world.
Light, I'm glad you're enjoying all the food, but I hope all these rich meals don't slow you down.
Welcome! From the elegant simplicity of straight spirits on the rocks to complex and fruity concoctions with little umbrellas, we serve all kinds of drinks. Cocktails can be served, chilled or warm, shaken or stirred. Everyone has their own preferences. We encourage customers to consult with our staff to create the perfect cocktail to accompany their evening.
You're gonna be a real food connoisseur by the time this is over. You just have 3 more restaurants left to visit.
Come enjoy the healthy fruits of the earth! Even kids who hate greens love my veggie dishes. Vitamins in vegetables are determined by their color. You want a wide variety for a well-balanced diet.
2 more places, Light, and you'll have managed to sample all the popular restaurants of the Glutton's Quarter.
Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description to the nearest security.
You have come, Savior, as it was seen.
Savior, you have come. Your fate is in our hands. I see all the threads, past and future, and your path is clear. My eye sees the truth. This is so, and always has been. Our encounter has sealed the spell. Know now, you are bound by my words.
What the hell do you mean by that? Bound by your words? You think that because I came today, just like you predicted, you have some kind of hold over me. And now you believe you can tell me what to do next. Is that it?
Yes, you must bend to our will. That is your fate. Do not fight it.
You're just fooling yourselves. I came here today because I wanted to, not because of any spell.
Ah, yes. The illusion of free will is the spell's greatest strength. Now it is time to hear your next oracle. My eye has seen the truth. The 3 stones you must find, and bring here to us.
Stones? As in some kind of gem?
It is ordained. You must obey. Bring us the desert flames. 3 there must be. 1 is borne by a traveling merchant. 1 is found in an underground path. 1 is found on a street with many inns.
So if this spell of yours is real, I've got no choice, right? I'll go out, find those 3 gems, and bring them back to you.
The chains of fate bind you. Tempered in heaven's furnace, by no force can they be sundered. You must do fortune's bidding.
Light, are you feeling okay? Those men said they cast a spell on you. Do you think that that's true?
They're charlatans and incompetent ones at that. Magic eyes and oracles, that wouldn't fool anyone.
A search for the intruder.
Good to hear.
The savior.
They want you to find the 3 desert flame gems. But you're not going to play along with their game, are you? You ignore them, right?
Or I could find them.
To the nearest security.
Right, you're not serious about that, are you? You know as well as me we don't have to play their games.
Persons matching this description to the nearest security officer.
The gate that leads to the industrial area opens at 6. If you miss an opportunity, you'll have to wait until the next day for your next chance to sneak in.
Citizens are asked
Be careful to be on time to meet the tour group.
to the nearest security officer.
Welcome. Our customers come here to put down their shopping bags and rest their weary feet. Our cakes and sweets are the perfect pick-me-up for just about everyone. We put a lot of love into our cakes, and that's what makes them so good. They're like treats for your palate and soul.
Almost there, Light. You have 1 more restaurant left to visit.
Palace guards are conducting a search for the intruder calling herself the Savior. She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an
When offering a complete dining experience to discerning patrons, superb food and excellent drinks are not enough. One must always anticipate the needs of your patrons. I am constantly assessing the dining space from the viewpoint of my customers, the comfort, the decor. Our customers want more than just a meal. They come for the memories they can savor for years to come.
Well, you visited all the best restaurants. What do you say, Light? Do you feel like you've learned all there is to know?
Listening to scraps of advice from chefs won't make me an expert. Besides, most of what they told me was common sense, and they didn't tell me anything I hadn't heard before.
Maybe you should go back and talk to a real expert. Go to the Banquet of the Lord and see what Gordon Gourmet has to say.
Come on! Well, how goes the culinary tour?
I did what you suggested. I visited the top restaurants in the neighborhood.
That is excellent news. So now let me give you the advice I promised. If Seedy's restaurant wants to turn its business around... wait, let me ask you something first. You've eaten at Seedy's and at the best establishments in Yusnon. Why don't you tell me what you think is the main difference between the two? I'd be interested to hear your opinion, in your own words, of course.
Why? Is this some kind of test?
Yes, exactly. Now tell me, what did all the successful restaurants have in common that poor old Seedy's lacks?
Let me see. Everyone I spoke to was helpful. They seemed honest and open. I don't think they were lying to me, but something seemed off.
Oh, would you care to elaborate?
Well, it almost felt like they were hiding something from the customers. But it wasn't as if they were deliberately lying or trying to deceive anyone. In fact, I don't think they realized it themselves. They thought they were telling me everything they knew. Yes, that's it. It was unconscious, like an instinct. They were hiding something, but they weren't doing it deliberately at all. I'd say the very best chefs, restaurant managers, and bartenders all share some kind of secret. It's like a special ingredient that makes their food stand out from the others.
What a wonderful deduction. You have hit the nail on the head. To think you discovered this answer only after visiting a few establishments. It is as you say, the best, most successful restaurants have a certain je ne sais quoi, a secret something that makes their offerings unique. And finding that something, that is what I do best. In other words, if the restaurant does not already have a special something, then I simply cannot help it.
Then what about Seedy's? Do you think you can help him?
I can tell you this, the chef there already knows his secret. The talent is there to make that restaurant a success. Unfortunately for him, the secret spice that gives his dishes flair is extremely rare. He cannot secure supplies, and that is why he struggles. Let me be specific. Once upon a time, Seedy's recipes all featured the spice commonly known as civet musk. But then supplies dried up and the restaurant fell into a long decline.
You seem to know a lot about Seedy's.
Well, a long time ago, let's just say we have a close history and leave it at that.
Fine by me. All I need to know is that if I can find this spice, the restaurant should start bringing in customers.
Yes, exactly. The problem is the spice is not easy to find. In fact, the only way to acquire it would be to defeat certain monsters. Such a shame. All for want of a single spice, his restaurant is failing. He has the recipe for success, he just needs the final ingredient.
So it turns out this civet musk is a precious commodity. Why don't you let Gordon Gourmet know you have some? He can tell you what to do next.
An intruder calling herself the Savior. She has rose-colored hair and is carrying an enormous weapon. Citizens are asked to report persons matching this description to the nearest security officer.
It's good. Ha! I recognize that fragrance anywhere. You found civet musk. Thank you indeed. It's very kind what you're doing. Seedy's is lucky to have you on its side.
Why are you thanking me? If anyone should be grateful, it's me, and the owner of Seedy's, for all of your helpful advice.
Oh, quite so. When you put it that way, of course you're right. I just get caught up in a project and start thinking it's my own restaurant I'm saving. But back to business. Here, I developed this new and original recipe. I want you to take it back to Seedy's together with the civet musk you acquired. The owner will be waiting anxiously for you.
So, you still don't want to meet him yourself?
I'm afraid that won't happen. Not ever again. However, that doesn't stop me from wishing him and Seedy's the very best. Please tell him that whatever happens, I'll be praying for his success.
Lightning. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Do you remember what the owner of CD's told us when we met?
You mean the story about his son that ran away from home when the restaurant started struggling? Great minds, Hope. We've both been thinking that maybe this son of his went on to become a famous food expert.
She has rose
And that's why Gordon won't meet CD's owner. But he still clearly wants to help out. Let's take the civet musk and recipe to CD's.
Gordon Gourmet created a new recipe for you. You should make it with this civet musk. Do that and you'll be able to save your restaurant. At least, that's what he said.
Why, thank you! This is wonderful! How can I ever repay you? This is incredible! Everything is here in black and white! A groundbreaking dish! I'd never have thought to do half the things in this recipe. The genius of Gordon Gourmet oozes from every word.
Notice anything else?
About the recipe? No, not particularly. It's well organized, written in a clear hand. Wait. This handwriting, it looks strangely familiar. Yes, I've seen it before. These swirls, these bold loops. Could it be?
I think so. It turns out Gordon Gourmet has a secret identity. He's your long-lost son.
He is? And you're sure it was him who created this wonderful recipe? But more importantly, he's in this town. Is he happy?
You have nothing to worry about. He's doing great. Except, I'm really sorry, but I don't think he wants to see you again. I can't tell you where he is.
But why? Yes, we quarreled when he left, but that was a long time ago. Is he still angry at me?
Do you have a message for him? I can make sure he gets it.
Well, how about this? I'm gonna make his dish, just like the recipe lays out. Would you be so good as to deliver it to him? At the very least, I want him to try it. Truth be told, what I really want to tell him is to come back to CD's and work with me. Perhaps if he knew that I still haven't lost my touch. Would that be enough to entice him back? I don't know.
I don't think words alone will do it, but if he tries your dish and likes it, that might be enough for him.
And there it is, finished at last. Here, please, I want you to be the first to taste it.
All right. I'm feeling hungry anyway. Wow. This might be the most delicious thing I've ever had in my entire life. Really, it's incredible.
Why, thank you. Although all the credit must go to my son, it was his doing. Here, I've made enough for one more. I've asked you for many favors, but would you do this last thing for me?
Sure. I'll take it to Gordon Gourmet.
Do I smell what I think I smell? I do, don't I? That must be my recipe.
Yes, the owner at CD's insisted that I bring you a portion so you could taste it for yourself.
I see. Well, then... Oh, yes. A perfect balance of fuzzy mutton and civet musk. The palate sings. It's a microcosm of culinary delight. A theme park of olfactory and gustatory attractions. And if you think that's hyperbole, I've only just begun. This is even better than I imagined. I always knew he was a skilled chef, but this...
So, why don't you go back there and help him out again in the kitchen?
Go back? What do you mean? I've never... Oh, all right. The cat's out of the bag. You've somehow figured it out. What my true identity is. Yes, I admit it. I am indeed the son of the owner of CD's restaurant. It was a long time ago, but one day we quarreled, and I left the shop vowing never to return. We fought over cooking, you see. But even after I left, I vowed that one day I would rebuild the restaurant. That's what started me on my journey to becoming Gordon Gourmet. Since then, I devoted every waking hour to learning about the culinary arts. After many years of study, I finally had an epiphany. I realized what CD's restaurant needed to regain its former glory.
You had a falling out because of the menu? But when your father saw your recipe, he was thrilled. All he could talk about was how he dreamed of you coming back. So the two of you could run the restaurant together, just like old times.
So he recognizes my ability. Oh, but it's too late. I can't go back now.
The fact is, I abandoned him in the restaurant when times were tough. I'm ashamed of what I did. I can't face him again.
You mustn't feel that way, my son.
Father, how did you find me?
My apologies to the young lady, but I wanted to see you. I followed her after she left the shop. What do you say? Let's start over. You set out on your own, did things your own way, stayed true to yourself, working hard to achieve your dreams. And now look what you can do. The recipe that you created was amazing. I've never seen the likes of it before. What can I say except that I am proud of you?
But Father, I left you.
Not in my wildest dreams could I have conceived of such a dish. Indeed, if you had given it to me back then, I doubt I would have recognized its greatness. But worse, I wouldn't have believed you could be capable of such a thing. I always underestimated you, my son. For that, you have my sincere apologies.
It's all right. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for abandoning you and the restaurant when you were struggling to keep it going.
Looks like you two have made up.
Yes. Now let's get to it, shall we? Together. We'll make CDs a success again!
That went well. A microcosm of culinary delight, did he say? That sounds rather tasty to me. Was it as good as he said?
Want me to pick you up some takeout?
You know what I'd prefer over that? If sometime you made me one of your specialty dishes.
I haven't spent much time in kitchens, but if you want something off a campfire grill, maybe I could rustle something up. I was never as good a cook as Sarah, but I have been told that I grill a pretty mean behemoth steak.
Calling herself